this is John Cola with OKRaw.com. I have another exciting episode for you today. We're here in Houston, Texas. Nice, beautiful day here. And we're gonna do a restaurant review for you guys. You might be thinking, John, where the heck are you at, man? It says Houston Cardiac Association Cardiovascular Medicine and Wellness Center. Well, yes, that's right. A medical doctor actually opened a raw food cafe in his doctor's office. I mean, this is cutting edge stuff. So we're gonna go inside the doctor's office and eat at this raw cafe. Here we are at 10480 Main Street here in Houston, and we're gonna walk into the doctor's office. You know, I don't recommend you guys go to doctor's offices unless it's a doctor like this that will literally prescribe you a plant-based diet to eat. Now we're here at Dr. Montgomery's Heart and Wellness, and this is also the Garden Kitchen and Nutrition Center. So I like that, you know, I think doctors, instead of just being the doctors and telling you what to do, they should be teachers. I mean, after all, doctors are teachers, and they're gonna teach you how to stay out of the hospital instead of trying to fix you up after the fact. This is the doctor's office in here, and as you can see, they got some, you know, little magazines here, and this is all about Medline Plus and no stroke and what to do. So these famous people have had strokes and have to recover from their stroke. But I'd say, you know, why even get strokes in the first place? Strokes, one of the things that can be prevented, you know, by simply eating the proper diet that doesn't encourage getting a stroke. Dr. Montgomery is a cardiologist, so he has to deal with things with the heart and whatnot, and you know, systems like that. And we want to unrestrict the blood flow. So things like animal products restrict the blood flow, and guess what? Plants open it up wide, man, so your blood could flow, and no longer will you need things like Viagra to get it up, because a plant-based diet will do that for you. The cafe is behind this door, and let's head in the cafe. This is the little cafe here. They got a kitchen area here, and this is where you place your order. It's kind of more of a cafe than a restaurant. You can kind of see like the nice little seating area, and you know, it's kind of nice in here. And then you're going to go over here to order, and you're just going to order, and the menu is just you know, a printed out menu over here, and it's just taped down. I wish they maybe had menus to hand out or show people. And as you can see, they got a revised menu, and there's different things on the menu. So there's appetizers, which range in price from $3 to $4.50. They got some soups, they're around $4.50 to $7, and then they got entrees all around $3 to $6, sandwiches $6 to $8. Then they got wraps and rolls, they're about $6, and pastas, which are about $9. And then they got desserts that are all anywhere from $3 to $7.50, and of course they got some beverages that you know, smoothies are $8, and coconut water is $2.99. So one of the cool things about the menu is that they actually rate the foods by level. So if you're a level 1, that means you're the ultimate raw foodist. Just kidding. So they got different levels, and basically from how it was explained to me, and actually the levels are all fully described in this book, but as the levels were explained to me was how digestible the food is. So one of the cool things about the place here is that they do not include nuts. Here they only include seeds, so if you have nut allergies you could actually eat here. And also I like that they're only using the seeds and no nuts, because this is actually going to be lower in fat. And they don't even use any oils except for coconut oil in one of the dessert recipes. So that's really cool. Now I do want to talk about this real quick. This is Dr. Baxter Montgomery's book on this is the Food Prescription Nutrition Guides, and this is the comprehensive guide. It says, "Start transforming your health today." This guide provides the key tools and information from Dr. Montgomery's nutritional boot camp, which has helped hundreds of people reverse chronic illness and reclaim their health. So, you know, the top illnesses in our society today, in my opinion, are caused by diets. So eating the wrong foods. And what Dr. Montgomery is going to teach you is the way to reverse some of those things, especially having to do with the heart, the main killers, the heart disease and strokes and heart attacks, you know, totally reversed by eating a plant-based diet. Has been shown many times in different studies, and I'm sure through the doctor's experiences here. So he wanted to bring this up front, and now he's providing food that'll exactly do what he recommends, which is a plant-based raw diet. So I'm glad I could be eating here today. So I think what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and order a bunch of food, and then they bring it out to you, and then I'm going to get to review the food and share with you guys how that tastes. Now our first thing came, and that is the pepperoni wraps right here. And one of the things I like about some of the food here, or at least this one right here, you know, while it is partially dehydrated, it's mostly fresh, actually, vegetables, and I want to encourage you guys to eat, you know, a lot of fresh vegetables. And so you can see here we got like a coconut-based wrap. It's like the young coconut meat that's dehydrated, and it's just rolled up. And let's go ahead and show you guys what's inside there. It's very simple. All it is, actually, and there's no nuts in here once again. All it is some cut up spinach, some onion with some sun-dried tomato, a little bit of mushrooms in there. And I think the seed actually in the sauce there they're using is actually some fennel seed. That's a quite unique thing that I've never tried before, so we're going to try to wrap this guy back up and we'll let you know how it tastes. Wow, that's actually quite good. I don't remember what like pepperoni, the real pepperoni used to taste like, but based on my memory, and it's been many years since I've had pepperoni, it tastes pretty darn close. The next meal came, and you know, this, while this is a little cafe restaurant place, everything comes already like in to-go-ware, and hopefully this is the corn to-go-ware, not made out of real plastic. But anyways, what we got next here is actually the Sloppy Joe. So we're gonna get to try the Sloppy Joe. Now, one of the things I like here is that, you know, they don't use nuts, and actually even this one doesn't have seeds. And I like that because that'll allow you to keep your diet lower in fat, and I definitely advocate a lower in fat diet than especially most raw food restaurants that use the nuts and the seeds as the basis. They're trying to get away from that here, and they're using more of the vegetables as the basis, so I like that. So we're gonna go ahead and try this guy, one of these Sloppy Joes here, and see how this tastes being nut-free and seed-free. Quite good. Now, I don't remember what Sloppy Joes are supposed to taste like because it's been many years since I've had one. But basically what they're using in here is you got the romaine wraps, you got some tomatoes, onions, mushrooms, and they're basically their ketchup in there. I think it's good so far. I definitely have that pepperoni wrap much better. The next item came, and here it is right here. Now, one of the things that's kind of nice, kind of not nice here is that the serving sizes, they are relatively inexpensive, but you know, the serving size, they're kind of small, but you know, if you're not used to eating your fruits and vegetables, they may be considered large. For me, I like to eat lots of fruits and vegetables, especially it takes not much to get full. So a little bit small, but we've ordered a couple things today and a whole table full of stuff, so I'm getting a sample, a whole bunch of different things for you, and I'm eating like one bite of most things. So the other thing is that you're gonna get just basically a package to-go-ware. So it's not, you know, super nice here, but definitely the food's good so far. So what we have here is the 3 noodle pesto. The noodles are made out of basically some spiralized and cut zucchini, carrots, and daikon radishes. And I like the daikons, actually. They're nice, and most people don't eat enough daikon or radishes, in my opinion. So we're gonna try a little bite and let you know how it is. Now, they don't use oil here either, except for one of the desserts has coconut oil, so that's really cool. And if they do have, and actually I think this is actually nut-free. It's a little bit salty, and I prefer less salt, but overall, definitely think it's good. We got the next thing we ordered here, and this is actually called the Paradise Burger. So they have a garden burger, which is basically just cut up vegetables on the bread or the lettuce, and this one does come on the Ezekiel bread, which actually is a sprouted but cooked bread. So be aware that if you are trying to eat all raw, you want to definitely get it on the lettuce. And I just recommend you guys get on the lettuce anyways. I'm not a big fan of the grains. And this one, as you can see here, here's the little burger inside there. And actually, this one contains some seeds, some pumpkin seeds. Also believe it contains some mushrooms in there. And we're going to go ahead and try it. Now, one of the things I like is that, once again, it does not contain the nuts. And this is really rich in the vegetables. So it looks like a little clam. One of the funny things when my when I was a kid, my dad would make a little Clarence the Clam, the garbage man dude. And he'd kind of do this and talk when we were kids. And we'd go out to McDonald's. I don't go out to McDonald's anymore except to use the bathroom. All right, so let's go ahead and try this Paradise Burger. I like that I can taste the ketchup in there. Oh, and the onion too. I definitely like this more than the pasta, but not as much as the pepperoni wraps. And I must say I had another burger in town yesterday. I think it's Pat Greer's burger. And I don't know, both these burgers to me were not that good. As you guys can see, I'm still eating, and it's definitely been some period of time. That's not only because, I don't know, I don't like this one too much, but also it's very important, besides the good conversation we're having here, I'm chewing my food very well. And that's another tip I want to give you guys. You know, it's very important to chew your food well. I mean, why do we feed babies baby food? I mean, it's a mush, right? It's already pre-chewed or pre-broken up by the blender or however they're doing, making the baby food. Even though we have teeth, I mean, we could eat more than baby food, but we should be chewing our food into mush so that we could get optimal digestion. I mean, that's why we have our teeth after all. So I tried to chew each mouthful like at least 50 times. You know, my dad might chew 2 times and swallow, and I definitely think that's not good. I mean, you know, to get the optimal food value, chew it into a mush, much like that baby food. So now I got the last thing I'm gonna try today, and that is the raw chili. Actually, just yesterday I was actually at Pat Greer's place, which is another raw food, I don't know, kind of to-go place you can get food at, and I had the chili. And it's probably one of the best raw chilies I've had. I might go back there and do a video for you guys, but probably won't happen this trip. So I got the chili here to compare. Now, one of the things I've noticed, because this is actually the last thing we're eating, actually we've just set this out, and I noticed that it was like really puffy full of air, so I let the air out, and then as I sat here, it actually puffed up again. So what does that mean when it's puffing up? That means it's a fermented food. Now, I don't know if this is supposed to be fermented or not. You know, and I did ask them when it was made, and they said it was made yesterday. And in one day, if it was made fresh, unless they're adding something to it, you know, and even if they are, I don't know if they should like be fermenting that fast. So we're gonna take this off on camera for you, and you can hear the air come out. And so it's just kind of like leaking, and there's air, and we had another one of these at the table, and it tasted like taste explosions in your mouth. Not because it was the Pop Rocks, but because it was the fermented. So let me see if I can get this thing open here, and I'll try this for you guys. This is a child-proof container. All right, I got it open. So one of the things I recommend you guys do before eating any food, hopefully it's a fresh pineapple that's really ripe, smell your food. Because that kid starts getting that digestion. It's actually getting me to salivate a little bit, and mixing your saliva with your food while chewing is definitely a good thing for better digestion. I don't know, this smells alright, but we'll see how it tastes. And it seems kind of like air bubbly, like, once again, fermented. Wow. It's actually quite fermented, so I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. This does contain previously frozen corn, which is organic, so that's a good thing. But any frozen vegetable has actually been blanched before freezing, so technically, if you want to be technical, it's not raw. But the frozen fruits, they don't blanch before freezing, so they can be considered raw. I know this one, it's like if they said fermented chili or something, it'd be cool, but for just a standard chili, I think the one I had yesterday blew this away by far because it was actually not fermented and more rich tasting. This is the first time this has happened to me actually at a raw food restaurant. We got the chili and it was actually quite fizzy, and it just wasn't right. So like I sensed this and then actually went up and asked the chef, and he definitely confirmed that it wasn't right, and he said that it was maybe due to the new supplier of the sun-dried tomatoes, and it's just not right. So I'm happy that they are refunding us for both the ones we bought, and unfortunately some other people at the table here ate one of them, and they're probably going to be alright. You know, it's not going to be poisoning them or nothing like that, but it's just definitely not right. So if any time you go to a restaurant, whether it's raw or not, and something's not right, hey, let them know. At minimum, they should, you know, apologize, number one, and number two, refund you and make it right to your satisfaction. So I'm happy that they did that today. I think the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and give you my apple rating, how many apples on a scale of 1 to 5 apples on how good this place was, and we'll also show you how much food we ate today. We just got done eating, and as you can see, we piled through a lot of the food here today, all these empty containers. Now, one of the things I really don't like about the place here too much is they got all these probably plastic containers that are now going to go to the landfill after single use. So I think it'd be much better if they had like plates that they could wash and reuse instead of creating environmental destruction with all the plastic that's going to end up in the Pacific Gyre in the ocean, one way or the other. So anyways, I had some great company here from Rawfully Organic Co-op here in Houston. If you do live in the Houston area, I highly encourage you to check out the Rawfully Organic Co-op. It's a place that you can get literally wholesale prices direct to you so that you can eat more fruits and vegetables. So now is the time for the review, and as you guys know, I rate places, all the restaurants I've been to, and I have a number of restaurant reviews online from 1 to 5 apples. And I'm a very hard reviewer. This is based on my experience of being into an raw food, plant-based diet for the last 18 years, plus I'm, thwarted because I eat the majority of my vegetables out of my garden that's fresh harvested just minutes before I make it. So, if I was to rate a place that was like a 5, it'd be like a place that literally has a garden out back and is picking their food and serving it up fresh. And I mean, let me tell you guys, you can taste the vibrancy of the food, you can taste the quality of the food when you eat. I mean, for those of you guys that had a home garden, you've tasted tomatoes out of your garden, they blow away by far any tomato that you buy in the grocery store easily any day, and I expect my food to be of that high quality. Unfortunately, most restaurants that I've ever been to are not of that high quality yet. Hopefully one day. So with that rating scale in mind, and that I've never really rated places more than a 3, today I rate this place 2.5 apples. I probably would have rated them a 3, but then we had that incident with the raw chili that wasn't so great, but I'm happy they took care of that. And I hope to come back here in the future and they're gonna dial in their chili, make some more recipes. I definitely like that they don't use nuts here and they use some seeds, so it's definitely relatively lower in fat. Some of the dishes, like the pesto one, was a little bit, had more salt than I'm used to, but still, it was actually really good. So overall, I definitely say if you live in Houston and you're trying to eat healthier, you definitely want to come out here and eat some of the food here. I mean, by far, this is some of the healthiest raw food you'll find at a prepared place in Houston. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Once again, my name is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. We'll see you next time. And remember, keep eating your fresh fruits and vegetables. They're the best.